I was sitting down having me lunch today when a strange sight caught me eye. A dirty big blowy was hitching a ride on the back of another fly. Then I looked across at the window where a louver it was broke. They were flying in like Siamese twins and I almost bloody choked. They were joined in copulation on the armrest of the chair, all increasing population, fornicating everywhere. They were shagging in the kitchen, they were shagging in the hall, all keeping perfect rhythm with the clock upon the wall. Then one randy blue-ass bastard with affection for the dead spies a fly stuck to the paper hanging just above me head. And he posthumously rapes a git stuck up there like a bat. Oh, if you were a fly and you had to die, would you like to die like that? Well, me dad came home from working hard, all bucket hot and dry. Said if I don't have a coldie soon, I'm surely gonna die. No sooner had he poured it out when Lordy had a fit, when a double-decker duo down upon the froth they lit. And as they swam they humped and drank and breaststroke round the glass. The electric light was gleaming bright off his iridescent arse. Then thoroughly drunk they finally sunk at last when the beer went flat. Or if I were a fly and I had to die, I'd like to die like that. Well, the family were all sitting down the evening meal to dine. A great big chook that Mum had cooked, it really looked divine. Then those double-decker blowies reappeared from everywhere. Depravity was on the wing and lust was in the air. They were scruffing in the stuffing and on the potatoes, and one was chock-a-block perched upon the parson's nose. It was quick but it was messy as down came the swatter splat. Or if you were a fly and you had to die, would you like to die like that? Or if you were a fly and you had to die, would you like it quick and clean? And neath the ties before your eyes with Peebo or Morton. But of all the ways to die, I'd like to drown in beer the best. But I'll be happy, you know, when it's time to go if I go on the nest. I'll be happy, you know, when it's time to go if I go on the nest. I've just been to Tamworth to sing a few songs. The weather was hot and my journey was long. And now that I've told you the place I have been, would you like me to tell you just what I have seen? I saw big mobs of pig dogs all in top gear, bailing up stars and chewing their ears. Giving them heaps, boy, more than they could stand. No wonder this creature's the curse of our land. They were down at the loco, they were up in the barn. Nowhere was it safe from their treacherous yarn. They'd pounce on your ear and devour it with glee as they roamed the streets unmuzzled and free. They were at every venue, lying in wait. At the sight of their prey, they would fair salivate. No pal or dog biscuits for this cannibal breed. Their sustenance, so you're here for a fee. Now you may think the dingo ferocious and wild, but compared to the pig dog his manner is mild. He does go to Tamworth a victim to seek, like the pig dogs that hunt there in festival week. Now the thought of returning to Tamworth next year fills me with dread, Lord, it fills me with fear. So before I go back there they'd better commence to build around Tamworth a pig dog-proof fence. I saw pig dogs all in top gear, bailing up stars and chewing their ears. Giving them heaps, boy, more than they could stand. No wonder this creature's the curse of our land. I'm the sap that flowed from our little family tree. My father said he didn't deserve to have a kid like me. My mother tried to give me up when I was only 3. They said I was the sap in their little family tree. One day I thought I'd teach myself how to milk a cow, but all my earnest efforts only caused one hell of a row. I placed the bucket on the ground and gave a mighty pull. It took us weeks to calm the beast, it was a flaming bull. Now the poor old bull's not good for much, just chewing on the grass. He doesn't chase the cows no more, just lets them walk right past. I feel real crook about it all, it's my fault, don't you see, that there's no more calves a-coming from his little family tree. I'm the sap that flowed from our little family tree. My father said he didn't deserve to have a kid like me. My mother tried to give me up when I was only 3. They said I was the sap in their little family tree. At school I asked me teacher, would she let me have a fag? She always was a real good sport and I had to have a drag. She said you could get me into trouble, but I'm not the kind to tell. I said alright if that's the deal, but I want your smokes as well. I went out with a Sheila and we found a moonlit spot. The night was cold but she said, ooh, a kiss would make me hot. I'd never kissed a girl before but I thought I'd like the job. She got much hotter than she thought 'cause a fag was in me gob. Now I'm getting older and wiser too, I thought, so I got myself married to a sex-crazy sort. I took her wrong, she told me she'd been saving up for years. I thought she meant her money, now she's driving me to tears. Now the sap is running out on our little family tree. I think it's time to take a break 'cause my hearing's failing me. The trunk is getting weaker, it's not all it used to be, 'cause there's no more sap left in the little family tree. You've got troubles, well let me tell you son, you'd be a mile behind me for me bad luck's on the run. The missus got it rolling, did a flip with all me brass, then 90 million locusts started eating up me grass. Me prize bull lost his statue, he got tangled in a fence, that awful high-pitched bellow I've been hearing ever since. Plus Bluey's constant yelping from a swab of turpentine, and 90 million locusts that are chirping as they dine. The windmills chucked the sponge in and the barn went up in smoke. There's white ants in the dunny and it's gone beyond a joke. Me wagon's done a big end, got no petrol anyhow, and someone's pinched me push by curse to thieving mongrel cow. A fox knocked off me rooster and the hens don't lay no more. Me house ain't fit to live in there, there's locusts there galore. They've taken over cupboards and they've chock-a-blocked the sink. If I'd have been financial, they'd have driven me to drink. Me poor old bull and missus I'll write off as loss of love. Some things I'll have to stomach and the rest I'll rise above. It takes a lot to beat me, but I'm up against real class. Those 90 million locusts that are eating up me grass. Those 90 million locusts that are eating up me grass. In Bandywollop when quite a child she rode a horse all day, and so it happened when she grew up her legs just stayed that way. From horses she then took to men, which made the women frown, and so it was she had to leave before run out of town. Her heart of gold was just as hard, what she had was never lent. The bandy trollop from Bandywollop, whose legs were pleasure bent. So off to Sydney one day she went to further her career, where she could gather some real dough, where life and love were freer. She took a flat down at the Cross and quickly made a pile. Her clients were big businessmen, she really lived in style. Her heart of gold was just as hard, what she had was never lent. The bandy trollop from Bandywollop, who's always paid the rent. With diamonds, glittering pearls and mink, the finest ever seen, a politician was mesmerised and she became his queen. She moved in high society and led a busy life, while she worked hard for charity, his much respected wife. Her heart of gold became well known, she was loved wherever she went. The one-time trollop from Bandywollop, whose days were so well spent. In Bandywollop, a one-horse town, they would not let her be, whereas in Sydney she made the grade, became an MBE. Once you are free of prejudice, no knowing where you'll stop, you must be free to lead your life if you would reach the top. Her heart of gold became well known, she was loved wherever she went. The one-time trollop from Bandywollop, whose no one will lament. Oh, the one-time trollop from Bandywollop, who no one need lament. I like mucking round, trucking round and fussing round as well. I drive like a maniac and give the tourists hell. I take the Sheilas for a ride, they try to ring me bell. I like mucking round, trucking round and fussing round as well. I got a snazzy looking rig, you ought to see me horn. I gave a little old lady a birth, she wished she'd not been born. I'm just a lair, as you can see, it's not too hard to tell that I like mucking round, trucking round and fussing round as well. I got a flat the other day, so I had to come to land. I had a Sheila with me and she offered me a hand. I said to her, excuse me love, but do you have the jack? She knocked me flaming block off, now she's never coming back. A copper stopped me yesterday to make me walk a line. I told him that I can't do that, stalling for some time. He said, "Why not, please tell me, and don't give me no bunk." I said, "Because if you must know, I'm too flamin' drunk." I stopped to help a bloke today, I thought he'd broken down. He'd stopped beside the road, you see, and looking like a clown. I said, "What's wrong with you, old mate?" And he said, "Fist and broke." I said, "Put her there, 'cause I am too, and it's no flaming joke." I like mucking round, trucking round and fussing round as well. I drive like a maniac and give the tourists hell. I take the Sheilas for a ride, they try to ring me bell. I like mucking round, trucking round and fussing round as well. I like mucking round and trucking round and fussing round, and a bit of mucking and a bit more fussing and fussing around and mucking around and, you know, just mucking around. I like to fuss around and muck around and Two little cars on the showroom floor, standing there for a month or more. He was a big flash limousine, she was a pretty little sports machine. Then, like the boy and the girl next door, each day he thought that he loved her more. At last he thought he'd take a chance, try his luck in a big romance. With all caution tossed aside, he asked her to be his shining bride. Now the pretty little thing, so neat and trim, with the headlights dipped, she said to him, "Will you love me when my piston rods are bending? Will you love me when my carburetor's dry? After years of heavy toiling and my radiator's boiling, will you love me as you did in days gone by? Will you love me when my seat's in need of mending, and I'm nothing like the day when I was born? When my tyres have lost their tread, my acceleration's dead, and no longer can I even blow my horn. When a bunch of ragbags takes me Sunday driving, with a heap of grog and no brains anywhere. When they drive me up a stump and they've busted all my sump, will you tow me to the doctors for repair? When I'm blowing clouds of smoke from oil I'm chewing, with my diff and clutch and gearbox on the blink. When my springs have got the gout and my body's rusted out, will you still be my true love, don't you think? So I'd willingly accept the deal you offer. I must warn you, every word I say is true. If you make one solemn vow to love me then and now, I'll be glad to travel down life's road with you. I'll be glad to travel down life's road with you. Now I've cut cane in Queensland, shorn sheep out in the west. I've split sleepers down the south coast and kept up with the best. I drove an interstater for nearly 7 years. I was a bouncer up at King's Cross and mixed it with the queers. I shot roos out west of Ivanhoe and dug the odd post hole. I was out of work for 6 months and wound up on the dole. But there's one thing I won't tackle, and I've had my share of strife. It's 200 pounds of dynamite and I call her the wife. She's 6 foot tall with flaming hair and a will of pure cast iron. She's the only person in this world to make me toe the line. A tornado for a temper and eyes that shine so bright. 200 pounds of dynamite and I call her the wife. I fished for trout in Tassie, drilled for oil down in Bass Strait, trawled a tuna out of Eden, worked the hunter picking grapes, drove a raid train in the Territory and hunted buffalo, picked fruit in the Murray Valley, cut timber at Dorrigo. I've flown a plane crop dusting, I've dug spuds and I've picked peas. In any kind of occupation, there's nothing frightens me. There's just one thing I'm afraid of, scares me half out of my life. 200 pounds of dynamite and I call her the wife. She's 6 foot tall with flaming hair and a will of pure cast iron. She's the only person in this world to make me toe the line. A tornado for a temper and eyes that shine so bright. 200 pounds of dynamite and I call her the wife. I was a roadie for a pop group and toured Australia wide. Over bulldozer for a year or two, tore up the countryside. I've been a ringer out at Blackhall and worked on the railway line. Dug for opals at Cuba Petey and never made a dime. I've sold encyclopedias, I was once an insurance man. I did my time in the Nash shows and served in Vietnam. I've tamed lions in a circus and I'll ask you not to laugh when I say my life's ambition is to tame my better half. She's 6 foot tall with flaming hair and a will of pure cast iron. She's the only person in this world to make me toe the line. A tornado for a temper and eyes that shine so bright. 200 pounds of dynamite and I call her the wife. You've all read the beautiful story of the countries far over the sea, from whence came our ancestors to establish this land of the free. There are some folks who still like to travel to see what they have over there, but when they go look, it's not like the book, and they find there is none to compare. Beautiful, beautiful Queensland, up where the wildflowers grow. We're proud of our beautiful climate, where we never see ice or snow. You can live on the plains or the mountains, or down where the sea breezes blow, and you're still in beautiful Queensland, the most wonderful state that I know. You can travel on beautiful highways, by the city, the village and farm, or sail up above on the skyways, and the beauty below you will charm. White cotton, green forest, blue rivers, sugar cane fields and fruit trees that bear. You can look the world over and then you will say that Queensland has beauty to spare. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Queensland, up where the wildflowers grow. We're proud of our beautiful climate, where we never see ice or snow. You can live on the plains or the mountains, or down where the sea breezes blow, and you're still in beautiful Queensland, the most wonderful state that I know.
Well, my mama said, son, you better settle down, 'cause the time has come to quit your fooling around. With the full moon rising, I seen the light. It's gonna be an overproof howling honky-tonk crowd tonight. And just as long as I'm able, I'm gonna raise a little Cain. Put the bottle on the table, put the powder to the flame. I'm my daddy's son and my mama's shame. Just as long as I'm able, I'm gonna raise little Cain. Name. Got my daddy's blood running through my vein. Got my daddy's charm and it never fails. Just hope I got enough of my mama in me to keep me out of jail. And just as long as I'm able, gonna raise a little Cain. Put the bottle on the table, put the powder to the flame. I'm my daddy's son and my mama's shame. But just as long as I'm able, I'm gonna raise